Have you ever walked into your home and thought, that's it, we have outgrown this place? You probably haven't, but I do. Every single time I walk in my front door and trip over the mountain of shoes that somehow accumulates in our entryway. I have 2 kids, 2. How do they manage to own more footwear than a professional athlete with a Nike sponsorship? Like me, you have probably outgrown the way you're using your home. I see it all the time. As a realtor, yes, but also just as someone who's been in hundreds of homes. People are convinced that the solution is more square footage. Knock out that wall, add a second story, list the house and find one with a 3-car garage and a walk-in pantry. But 9 times out of 10, it's not the space, it's the stuff. Most homes aren't actually too small. They're just too full. And I don't mean full of furniture. I mean full of chaos, full of half-finished products, old mail, stuff that was never put away, and stuff that never had a place to begin with. A home isn't a storage unit for your maybe someday pile. Take a kitchen, for example. I have seen massive kitchens, giant islands, double ovens that somehow feel more cramped than a galley kitchen in a downtown condo. The difference isn't square footage, it's clarity. It's knowing what goes where, what stays, and what never should have made it through the front door in the first place. When we moved to our current home here on Balsam Lake, I was convinced our kitchen was going to drive me nuts. The counters were always cluttered. There never seemed to be enough space to cook, let alone host. My first instinct was to start pricing out renovations, and we had just renovated. But I paused because Dean made me. So instead of grabbing a sledgehammer, I grabbed a few bins and started emptying every single cupboard and drawer, every single one. It was completely bare. Turns out we were only actually using about 30% of the stuff that was in there. The rest, duplicate utensils, old broken garlic presses, random sippy cup lids that didn't match anything anymore, a popsicle mold from 2014. Oh, and of course my ice cream maker, because as we all know, I had dreams of artisanal ice cream every weekend. Once all of that unnecessary stuff was gone and I reorganized what we actually used, suddenly everything shifted. My kitchen worked. No reno required. No extra square footage needed. No muss, no fuss, no mess. Just honest decluttering. All that stuff you have, it lies to you. It says, you might need me someday, or you paid good money for me, or I was a gift from someone you love. Don't be a monster, Judy. But let's be honest, Judy, it's sneaky. Your stuff doesn't just take up space, it takes up mental real estate. That slow cooker you haven't used since 2009 still lives in your head rent-free, and in your cabinets. That's how homes slowly fill up with guilt, with imagined emergencies, with emotional baggage and future-proofing and unrealistic versions of ourselves. Cluttered homes feel smaller, and disorganized rooms are more stressful. There's actual neuroscience behind it. When there's too much visual input, your brain goes into overload. You can't focus on any one thing because everything is screaming for attention. Even the most beautifully designed rooms lose their impact when they're overstuffed, when every surface is covered with something, when every shelf is packed to the edge. We need white space in our lives. Sometimes the problem isn't the layout, it's that your house can't breathe. I get it. This is really weird advice coming from a realtor. I'm basically talking myself out of a job here. Telling you not to sell your home isn't exactly my best lead generation strategy. But here's the truth. I don't want to list your house because you're overwhelmed or frustrated or convinced there's no other option. I want you to make a clear-headed decision about what's right for you. And sometimes that means taking a long, honest look at the space you're already in. Sometimes all it takes is one serious decluttering session, a few trips to the donation center, and a better system for where things ought to live. That might fix 90% of what's bothering you. And if it doesn't, then we can talk. But if it does, you just saved yourself the cost and the stress and the time and the regret of moving for the wrong reasons. My job isn't to sell you on a new house. It's to help you find clarity, whether that's through a new address or a new approach. Now, I'm not saying a move is never the right call. I'm a realtor after all. I got to make a living too. Sometimes the layout truly doesn't work for your life anymore. Maybe your knees no longer love those stairs. Maybe you've become an empty nester and the house feels like it's echoing. Maybe you're now working from home full time and your office is still the dining room table. If you've decluttered and really decluttered and the space still feels off, that's worth listening to. That's when it might be time to explore something that doesn't fit your life now. And that's where I come in. Not with pressure, but with options. Your home should support you, not stress you out. It should feel like a partner, not a burden. So edit the space. Give yourself room to breathe. Make space for the version of you that exists right now, not the person you used to be or the fantasy version you thought you might become. You'd be surprised at how much bigger your home feels without adding a single square foot. And if you've already done the hard work of decluttering and your home still doesn't feel right, watch why you're decluttering and still not happy. Because there's another layer that no one is talking about, and it might be the key to finally feeling at home in your home. I'll see you over there.